I wasn't spending too much. I just never knew what was coming next. The anxiety wasn't my balance. It was the not knowing. Seriously. I used to open my banking app and feel this weird mix of relief and dread. Like, okay, I'm not at zero. I should be fine. And then 2 minutes later, I'd still feel broke, still feel tense, still feel like one surprise away from chaos. And that's what I want to talk about today, because if you've ever felt broke even when you technically weren't, you're not broken. You're not irresponsible. You're dealing with something most people don't have language for. Hey, I'm Dustin. I'm obsessed with making personal finance simple and actually useful. If you want to build real wealth, stop living paycheck to paycheck and feel ahead of your money for once. You're in the right place. I share practical, no fluff tips you can use right away. So if that's what you're here for, hit subscribe and tap like. It helps the channel a ton and tells me to make more videos like this. Let's get your finances working for you. Money wasn't the real problem. Uncertainty was. So in this video, I'm going to show you the one simple thing I started tracking that dissolved that uncertainty. I'll explain why it works, how to do it in under a minute a week, and how it changes your decisions in real life. Not because it makes you rich, but because it makes you safe. Let's get into it. First, we have to name what this feeling actually is. Most people assume the way to stop feeling broke is either make more money or stop spending money. And yes, those help. But they're not the whole story. Because there's a third thing that creates broke feelings, even when your numbers aren't catastrophic. Your money situation is unclear. You don't know what's coming next. You don't know how tight you really are. You don't know if you're getting better or silently getting worse. So your brain stays on alert. It's like driving at night with foggy headlights. You're moving forward, but you can't really see. And when you can't see, you grip the steering wheel harder. You go slower. You flinch at every shadow. That's what uncertainty does to your nervous system. And it explains this really frustrating experience. You can have money and still feel unsafe. Because safety isn't your balance. Safety is knowing what the next few weeks look like. Here's what uncertainty sounds like in your head. What if I forgot a bill? What if something hits early? What if I'm already behind and I just don't know it yet? What if this purchase is the one that ruins everything? And you know what's wild? Those thoughts show up whether you have $200 or $2,000. The anxiety isn't about the amount, it's about the blur. So I want you to hear this clearly. Feeling broke is sometimes a clarity problem, not a money problem. And once I understood that, I stopped trying to fix it with stricter rules. Because here's what strict budgets don't solve. You can have a spreadsheet that says you're fine and still feel panic if your brain doesn't trust the future. I needed something simpler, something my nervous system could understand. So I started tracking one thing. Before I tell you what it is, let me share the moment it clicked for me. I had a month where nothing went wrong. No emergency, no surprise car repair. Bills were normal. Paychecks came in. At the end of the month, I had money left over. And I still felt broke. That was the moment I realized I wasn't reacting to reality. I was reacting to uncertainty. Because I couldn't answer basic questions like, if I stopped working today, how long would I be okay? Do I actually have spending room this week? Is my situation improving, or am I slowly sliding backward? I was living inside a question mark. And when you live inside a question mark, your brain assumes the answer is danger. So I made a tracking system designed for one thing, turning a question mark into a number I could trust. Here's the system. I call it the Money Runway. Because the thing I started tracking wasn't my balance. It was my runway. Once a week, on the same day, I ask one question. If I had zero income starting today, how many days could I cover life? That's it. Not how much money do I have, but how long would it last? Because time is what your nervous system understands. Let's do a quick example. Say you have $1,500 that's actually available, checking, savings, cash, not retirement, not maybe money. And your bare bones life costs about $100 a day. Rent, food, gas, utilities, minimums, not luxury. Survival. Your runway is $1,500 divided by $100 per day equals 15 days. So instead of living in, I think I'm okay, you're living in, I have 15 days. That's clarity. And every week you update it. Sometimes it's 12, sometimes it's 18, sometimes it's flat for a month. But now you can see. And when you can see, you can breathe. Now let me slow down and explain why this works so well. Because your balance doesn't tell you a story. A balance is a snapshot. It doesn't tell you if you're safe. It doesn't tell you if you're improving. It doesn't tell you what happens next. But a runway does. A runway is a forecast your brain can feel. It answers the real questions underneath your stress. How close am I to danger? What happens if something surprises me? Am I stable enough to say yes to this thing? And once those questions have answers, your anxiety loses its job. Here's what changed for me after I tracked Runway for a few weeks. The first change wasn't financial, it was psychological. I stopped checking my bank app like it was a horror movie. Because I already knew the truth once a week, and that was enough. If my runway was 20 days and I wanted to buy something small, I didn't spiral anymore. I didn't do the whole internal courtroom trial like, do I deserve it? What if I regret it? What if a bill hits tomorrow? I just think, okay, 20 days. Buying this doesn't change the runway. I'm good. That's what safety feels like. Not, I have infinite money. Just, I understand my margin. Let me give you 3 real-life decision examples. Example 1, small spending without guilt. Before Runway, every purchase felt like it might be secretly catastrophic. Even $15, even stuff I needed. Because I didn't trust the future. After Runway, I could say, I have 23 days. This doesn't move me into danger. So I bought it without that post-purchase shame hangover. Example 2, a surprise bill. Before Runway, a surprise bill felt like the beginning of a landslide. It didn't matter if I could technically afford it. The uncertainty made it feel like doom. After Runway, I'd look at it and think, this knocks me from 19 days to 17 days. Not great, but not a cliff. So I reacted with logic instead of fear. Example 3, saying no without feeling deprived. This one surprised me. When you can see your runway, no doesn't feel like punishment. No feels like strategy. Instead of, I can't ever have nice things, it's, I'm choosing to protect these 16 days. That shift from deprivation to choice is everything. Now I know what objections are coming, so let's hit them. Objection 1. This sounds too simple. It is simple. That's why it works. If a money system needs high energy and perfect behavior, you won't keep it. This one works even when you're tired, busy, overwhelmed, or just not in the mood. Objection 2. What if my runway is scary low? Okay. First of all, you're not alone. And second, knowing a scary number is still better than living in fog, because fog makes you panic. A number makes you plan. A low runway doesn't mean you're doomed. It means you have a clear signal. Signals are how you fix things before they break. Objection 3. I'm not good at calculating stuff. You don't have to be. Your runway can be rough. If your life costs about $3,000 a month, that's $100 a day. If it costs $2,100 a month, that's $70 a day. You're not doing surgery here. You're giving your brain a flashlight. Even an imperfect runway is better than none. Now here's the really important part. Tracking runway didn't make me feel rich. It made me feel safe. And those are not the same thing, because rich is a number, safe is a nervous system state. And most of us aren't chasing luxury first. We're chasing a life where money isn't a constant threat in the background. We just want to exhale. We want to stop flinching at every notification. We want to make decisions without feeling like we're playing roulette with our future. That's what Runway gives you. If you want a next step after Runway, here's a simple progression that keeps the same vibe. Stage 1, track Runway weekly. No pressure, just clarity. Stage 2, build Runway slowly. Even a small weekly buffer grows days, not dollars, days. Stage 3, set a Runway goal. Maybe you want 14 days, maybe you want 30, maybe you want 60. Whatever your number is, you can aim at it without guessing. Because now you're not wandering, you're navigating. So here's what I want you to do. Try this for 4 weeks. Once a week, add up your truly available money. Estimate your bare bones cost per day. Calculate Runway in days. Write it down. That's the system. And I want you to pay attention to what changes. Not just your spending, but your stress. Because the first win isn't that you suddenly become wealthy. The first win is that you stop feeling hunted by the unknown. You stop feeling broke when you're not. You stop living in a question mark. You stop making decisions out of panic. And at the end of 4 weeks, tell me what happened. Did your runway go up? Did it stay flat? Did your anxiety drop anyway? Because I'm telling you, clarity changes your life even before the numbers do. Let me leave you with the line that rewired everything for me. I didn't need a stricter budget. I needed a clearer picture. Money wasn't the real problem. Uncertainty was. And when I started tracking my runway, I stopped feeling broke. I don't feel rich. I feel safe.